Hey guys, I have not been able to make a video in a while, but from today I am back on YouTube and in other social networks. Things have been quite busy for us and there are a couple of reasons for it, and I do want to talk to you about them and how we have been able to learn some stuff from 2020 and starting to implement them even further now in 2021. So with that being said, roll the intro.
This a ticket talking Mazda for the biggest. That's a comma and a comma and a comma. Gotta get.
So if you're new to the channel, my name is Leopoldo Perella and I do videos about web design, UX design and the overall design process. And if you have been in the channel for a while or you have been following me on other social networks, you already know that in this channel we talk about designing, we talk about different tools, but I'm also sharing part of my journey as I create the design studio and as how we get more clients and like how we get to work on new projects and our steps to make everything come together. And I do think in 2020 things were a bit rough for a while, but I think this helped us to sort of change the way we were thinking about things, change the way we were working on projects, and made us sort of like, or forced us sort of to improve a lot of the things that we were doing. So I'm going to be going through, I think it's about 10 points that I think were very important for us in 2020, and I'm hoping that this video can also help you to understand some of the things from a business owner point of view, whether you run a creative studio or you are looking to start your agency or anything like that really. So I think one of the first things that we did in 2020 was actually reducing the amount of services we provided. In my previous posts, or even if you have been following me on Instagram or Facebook for a while, I talk a lot about marketing. I talked a lot about SEO, social media marketing, running ads, doing stuff on Instagram and all that. But the reality is that sometimes when we have so many things to try to sell our clients, it becomes very confusing. And there was something that I once read or actually saw from Donald Miller, who did the StoryBrand, and he sort of puts this into the context of giving your clients a bowling ball. And the idea is like, how many of them can your client hold? Is it going to be easy for them to understand what you're trying to sell, or are you just making it more difficult because you have so many things to provide for your clients? Now, the other thing about this is that the more you sell to your clients or the more services you have, it's sort of the less of an expert you become on one main thing. And I'm not saying just focus on one thing, but I'm saying actually concentrate on what is working on the business, what will generate the most income for you, but also what you are the best at. So what we did is that we removed all digital marketing services, and we have been asked by clients to see if we can provide them, and we continue to say no, and we concentrated only on design, UX design, UI design, and web development. We were able to talk so properly about our services, create a process based on the services, that it was very easy for the clients to also understand how we, or my team and myself, are able to help them to increase the business, to be able to put that sales deck out there, to create that marketing website that will generate leads for the new startup or anything like that. The next thing that I think was really big for us is like, and I know you have probably heard about trying to get those big projects or trying to charge more to your clients because that's the only way that you're going to grow a design business. And I'm not saying some of these design gurus out there are wrong. All I'm saying though is that you sort of have to be realistic of who you're working with, who your market is, and also about your expertise. So sometimes when we only wait for the big project, we keep waiting for it and nothing else happens. And when we get this big project, let's say you get a $10,000 project, but this $10,000 project takes you 3-4 months to complete, it is no longer a $10,000 project. It's actually just a few $1,000s a month, and with expenses and all that, it might just be probably about a couple $100s a month. So what we did is that even though we are trying to get into those big projects, we're also taking in smaller projects. And this allows us to start creating a relationship with our clients so they can start to see the experience of what it is to like work with myself, work with our project manager, and see how that relationship can evolve maybe eventually into a website or the UI design for the the user interface design for their new web app or for the new application that they're going to be creating. It's all about small steps that will lead you to the big step or to the big project. But if you wait for it, it's going to be very difficult for your business to move forward. The next thing I did learn, and this is personal when I was working on the business, is actually that sometimes you do need help. But you do not need to go ahead and hire a web designer or a developer who is going to be doing the same thing that you will be doing, because then you guys are going to pretty much clash. And the idea is to actually get help from someone that is going to help you in the areas that you're weak at. So for me, for example, there was a point, I think it was in November or December, that we were actually managing 7 projects. And that is quite a lot for one person to manage, but I learned that I actually can do a lot more than I'm able to, what I think I can do. And this is where having the project manager come in and was able to put everything together properly, so that these 7 projects or whatever number of projects was taking place was able to be completed even before the deadline. And we still had time for even more projects. So that is to say 2 things. One, that whenever you think you had enough or that you are doing enough for your business, you can do a lot more. And 2, make sure you get someone that's going to help you on your weaknesses and not just sort of work on the same thing that you're working on. And the next thing I think I really learned in 2020 is not just about marketing your business and posting on Instagram, posting on LinkedIn, maybe doing another YouTube video. Even though this really works, sometimes you need to actually get out there and start networking, because for you as a designer or as a developer, you want to sort of be able to get into that network that's going to drive a client. And one of our clients actually did a deck where she talked about having a hub of clients. And when you get one, that client should be able to get you 10 more clients, and that 10 more clients should be able to get you more clients and more clients and more clients. And this is so true, because sometimes when we concentrate on posting on Instagram and stuff like that, we sort of start to target more into the designer's background, like designers like you or me or other people who are in the same field as us but not really clients. So what we want to do is we want to concentrate our marketing in the networking part of it, in being able to create relationships with new clients that will introduce us to other clients, and continue to do that and get into the networks that they are part of. Because eventually, if you are in a specific niche per se, they are going to bring you into that network that you need to be able to grow your business. And I think one of the other things that probably, and I always talked about this one, but I know sometimes I didn't do it, is to actually listen to your clients. Because our client is actually telling you what they want, and even if it's an objection, like maybe you are too high, your price is too high, or anything like that, that is just how they feel about something at the moment. So they are not going to be like, hey, can you explain to me how your pricing works, or hey, can you tell me if we can work lower at a lower rate, or anything like that, because they're also a bit, they're considering what you can think of them as a person, right? So when you start to think about or listen to what your clients are saying, and if they give you an objection, you're able to ask a question about it. Like if your price is too high, then see where's this question really coming from. You're going to be able to create a better first meeting with your clients. You're going to be able to create a better experience for them. And in the same way that you do this, you're also going to be able to create a new client for you, a new client for your business, and someone who might, tell another person about it. And as I said in the previous point, it's all about networking. So once you get one client, let's say it might not be the highest budget ever, but you are able to create something that's really good for them, you're able to solve a problem that they actually are having, you will be able to start growing the business even more. So the next thing that we did actually in 2020, just like how we removed services that we were, like digital marketing stuff, is that we also stopped just doing Webflow, or we stopped doing websites only based on StoryBrand, or we stopped doing just WordPress websites and nothing else but WordPress website. And whenever I go online, I always see this. I always see people complaining about why Webflow is better than the WordPress, and then the person who does WordPress fights with the person who does Webflow, and then the person who does something like a StoryBrand tells you that StoryBrand is the only way you can build a website, right? And this is, I guess you do have a point. Sometimes certain platforms are becoming better than others, but at the end of the day, you as a designer, you as the service provider, you sort of have to step away from it from your personal point of view. And even though someone who might have taught you that Webflow is better or that WordPress is better, you have to think about what is it that your clients are going to benefit the most out of. So there have been some websites that I could have done with Webflow, because the Webflow is just an amazing platform for it. But I knew for the client themselves, building it in WordPress would have make everything a lot simpler for them, because that's what they needed. They needed the tools that came in with WordPress, certain forms or certain plugins that I know could have been implemented with WordPress at their budget, but also limiting the time that they might have to contact me to be able to figure out something. Now, there were also some projects that we did work on that doing something in WordPress was not going to be beneficial for the client, so we decided to build their website in Webflow. And there are some projects also that maybe I combine StoryBrand with Webflow or StoryBrand on WordPress on the designs I created, because this way it was going to benefit the client. But limiting yourself to only one specific product or service for your client is not going to work in the long run for you, unless you are an expert on this tool or whatever you're working on, and you have, I would say, about 10 or so persons contacting you on a monthly basis just to work on that platform. And the next thing I have for you, and I think is probably the last point that we learned in 2020, is that finding a niche doesn't always just, it's not something that you always just do. You go ahead there and you find it, you decide that you're going to work with this group of people, and then just get into it. Sometimes it actually finds you. What I do think you need to do if you want to eventually find a niche is that you do need to concentrate on the market that you want to target, but don't leave the other markets alone, because sometimes by doing this, that's how your niche will find you, and you're also able to make some extra income while you're concentrating on improving your skills for that specific market that you do want to target. And then again, we go back into the networking part of things, where when you start to find your niche and whatnot, or you have an idea of it, you're able to network or put your energy of networking into that niche, but you're also able to make the income because you're getting other type of projects, whether they are design or real estate or medical care or whatever, right? You're still able to grow your business. And then you go back again to, I think it was my first point, where we remove services that we were providing. Once you get more into a niche, you will see which of these products or services are actually things that your clients will need, and you will be able to see which ones to remove. However, in the meantime, while you do that, because sometimes it might take months, it might take a year or so, you still want to keep some of those services on the side so that your business can continue to get some money in while you concentrate on the other market. So I think these are some of the things that really made a difference in 2020 for us. And now moving forward into 2021, I think we can even further improve on some of these things that we learned and see how we can now adapt them more to the business, and hopefully learn a few more things this year. And I hope you were able to learn something from this. I'm going to be creating a lot more videos like this now in 2021. As you know, all of our videos are being posted every Tuesday and Thursday. So if you're interested, make sure to hit the subscribe button and the bell button, so whenever I post a video like this, you get a notification, and I will see you again in the next video.